Hello all. Today we are going to see about A2A, agent to agent protocol. Basically, we have seen a famous three-letter protocol called MCP. We didn't still make a video about it, but I think it is getting famous and it can be once we got some resources right on it. So I'll make a video on it. Uh, I'm recording this for a second time. First time I missed the audio, so I think I don't know. It would be like a first video, but I'll try to manage it over here. So let's start. Okay. So if you see here, right, A2A agent to agent protocol is a open source protocol done by Google Cloud. They have made it open source. Basically, it's communicating between agent to agent. Let's see and go deep dive into it. I have read this blog fully, but I have noted the highlighted points over here. Uh, Basically, if you see here, right, I will read through line word by word and the highlighted one, and I give overall picture on other stuff. So, new era of agent interpretability. So, AI agents offer a unique opportunity to help people be more productive by autonomously handling many daily recurring and complex tasks. So basically what they are coming to say is this A2A helps to communicate between agent to agent so that basically we already have agents, we already have tool integration, everything is there. So it was common and it differs from company to company. So a, so this A2A will help us to do the same task but in a more matured or a more easier way so that it can accomplish the daily task and complex task also. So daily task can be categorized into uh, immediately done task or easily doable task, and the complex task are like a long running task. So they have also said about daily the day-to-day enterprise building autonomous agents and helps to scale, enhance, um, basically providing customer service representative or uh, supply chain management planning. Everything is done by agents today. How it can be done more effectively or more optimized way is what they are trying to come up with this A2A. So to maximize the benefits from the agentic AI, critical for those agents to communicate between each other, the multi-agent framework, enabling the framework to incorporate with each other different frameworks like land graph, LangChain, um, multiple things will increase autonomy. Autonomy of multiple productive gains overall from this A2A. So from this main, we need to see that A2A is for helping the agents to communicate between each other autonomously to help in daily tasks and complex tasks. So there are multiple companies started using A2A, A2A partners. So these are all for the business and numbers. A2A protocol allows AI agents to communicate with each other securely, exchange information, and coordinate actions on top of various enterprise platforms. So A2A allows AI agent to communicate between agents, securely exchange information, and coordinate actions on top of enterprise platforms and application. Okay, this is the point we need to open this. I think this should be kept in the title also or thumbnail, I guess. The main difference, or people sometimes think, is A2A a replacement for MCP. Here I have the clear cut answer. For sure, it is no. No, no. A2A is a agent to agent communication, but MCP is like a agent to tool communication. So, a agent can have multiple tools which can be communicated with MCP. There can be multiple agents like that. So the next line, if you see here, right, A2A is an open protocol that complements Anthropic's Model Context Protocol (MCP), which provides helpful tools and context to agents. So if you see here, right, if you open an Excel and see this as an agent 1, and if you see this as an agent 2, this agent has, let's, for an example, I'm saying let's make it as medium, and this should be like a tool. Let's change its color for 2. For example, I'm keeping like this. Let's put an arrow mark from here to here and another arrow mark from here to here. So basically this will have MCP communication. So like this, there can be multiple agents and tool Now, where A2A comes into picture. This is where A2A comes into picture. If you see here, right? A2A, sorry, A2A. So, agent accessing the tools will comes under MCP, and an agent communicating between another agent comes under A2A. Why do an agent need to communicate with another agent? Because this tools will be unique for this agent. I mean, and the other tools will be unique for that agent. So, why do we need that communication between A2A? So, if you think in a large scope of perspective, right? Like a large task, if a user gives a very high level information to an system and expects a very precise answer, so a agent can itself have a search tool and a executor code executor tool, everything can be there. But if you want to have a workflow kind of thing per agentic, I think I'm going into very detailed stuff. Let us continue, I mean complete that and come back to this. Okay, so this is what a clear cut difference between MCP and A2A. So I didn't complete this, I guess. We believe A2A framework significantly adds value to the customers, A agent, everything. This collaboration effort significantly shared vision when A2A, regardless of their underlying technology, seamless collaboration, automate complex enterprise workflows, drive everything. Okay, I mean everything in the sense which communicates between agent to agent. Drawing a Google internal expertise, scaling the agentic system, we have designed A2A protocol address to challenge deploying a large-scale multi-agent system, empowers their developers connecting to each other. Protocol helps combine. I don't think standardized method for this. Also, they are mentioning about how they have standardized the method to call between or intercommunication between an agent to agent universally. These are all the companies which uses agent as of now. So this is the design principle. I don't think much. I mean, in my knowledge, the important point over is this one. First point is like embrace agentic capabilities. A2A focuses on enabling agents collaborate with natural unstructured modalities even if they don't have share memory tools context. We enable true multi-agentic scenario without limiting agent to tools. So before and all, agent was primarily known as, what is agent? We need to answer that question, right? First of all, agent is something like we need to have a tool over there, and also the agent can be in the position of taking an autonomous path. Autonomous path in the sense, if you have three options, what option to choose? That an agent can design. If you have multiple tools, which tool to pick for this task? An agent can do. That's where the LLM's knowledge comes into the picture. That's where the embrace agentic capability. Previously, it was like agent, and agent has an autonomous decision to take a path or a tool. Now there are multiple agents which can intercommunicate between each other. Now I am an agent number one. I can complete this task. You are agent number two, right? Can you please, you have a, if you have a tool related to this question, can you complete that? This is agent to agent communication, but it acts upon a different angle. Let's see in the bottom side. Okay, so what are the existing standard they have used is HTTP, SSE. SSE is used in MCP also, and JSON RPC. JSON RPC is used for showing what the agent is. That also we can see at the bottom. So next is secure. By default, it uses OpenAI authentication. There are enterprise grade authentication and authorization, and support for long running tasks. We have designed A2A for flexible support scenarios, excels in the completing every task as a quick task. Okay, this line I could be able to quick task to deep research. From quick task to deep research, that may take hours and or even days when human are in loop. I think this is also an important point. Throughout this process, A2A provides a real-time feedback notification and state updates to its users. I think it's like a multi-agent framework, I guess. I have used AutoGen, Crew AI, LandGraph. I have worked with N8 and also there are multiple things I have worked with on what to say, this multi-agent framework. This is a standard A2A protocol or a multi-agent framework. I think we need to look into it more deeply. So the last is the agentic world isn't limited just to text, which is why we have designed A2A to support various modalities, including audio and video streaming. So we see token by token generated in ChatGPT or anywhere, right? So that is token streaming. So like that, they have not limited this agent to agent not only for text streaming, they have also done it for audio and video streaming. So that's a important thing over here. What we see as a A2, how A2A works. So this is an overall view, what we can see how A2A works, how A2A works. I mean, this is the title of this. I mean, there are two main things they have defined over here. One is a client agent, another is a remote agent. Have you heard a similar kind of tone, not a word, the tone in some other multi-agent frameworks where you can see like a critic agent and a worker agent? So I think the same has been here, like a client agent and a remote agent. A client agent is a secure collaboration task. I mean, a client agent who's responsible for secure collaboration, task and state management, user experience negotiation, capability discovery. Everything is taken care from the client agent side. So secure collaboration is something like which it identifies the what all are remote agents it has, what task can be given to which remote agent. That is the secure collaboration. State and task management. Initially, user would have given what is the end result I want, and the client agent will be splitting into tasks that will be given to remote agent. Is that task completed? What is the status of the task? What is state of the state of the task? Is it completed or ongoing? Everything is managed over here. User experience negotiation is something like if user is given a human in the loop, action is given in the application, right? So in between human gives a input, then how it is going to change the planned task, how it is going to change the trajectory of the overall outcome. So these are all given, I mean, handled in the user experience negotiation. Next comes the capability discovery. Capability discovery is something like what is the scope of this task, what is the overall thing I need to complete. So everything is taken care from the client agent side and given the task to the remote agent. So client agent is a manager here, which is a critic agent. Once the remote agent completes things, it reviews it and gives feedback to the remote agent. That's what I think in a high level, the client agent and the remote agent difference. Let's see how they have defined. I have read this, so I was explaining. So A2A facilitates communication between a client agent and a remote agent. So this is a simple, clear, defined method. Like A2A facilitates a communication between client and a remote agent. How will a client give a task to a remote agent? How will a remote agent say, I have done this task, this is what the result is, what do you think on it? This is what happens. We and a manager, how we communicate. So that's what exactly happening between a client agent and a remote agent. How will they communicate? Now we communicate through emails, or we directly sit on one-on-one calls to the our manager or advisory position. So that's how we communicate. But here, client agent and a remote agent communicates with A2A protocol. A client agent is responsible for formulating and communicating tasks. So basically, it's a pakka critic agent, man. So a client agent is responsible for formulating and communicating the task, while the remote agent is responsible for acting on those tasks in an attempt to provide correct information or take correct actions. So the action agent will be like giving the correct information for the task given by the client agent. Oh, I'm very sorry. A remote agent will be responsible for giving the correct information or taking a correct action for the task given by the client agent. You are clear, right? So remote agent will execute a task or search on a web, or they do action. Client agent will say the action what the remote agent should do. This is clear, I guess. Next capability discovery. And agents can adverse their capability using agent card in JSON format, allowing the clients to identify the best agent that can perform a task and leverage A2A communicate with the remote agent. So basically what it is saying is agent can pick an, let's see in the real scope. Okay, let's remove the high level names and put a very granular level. Okay, if a client agent wants to accomplish a task, then it will search for a remote agent. How will it search for a remote agent? It will search for a remote agent by, before that, remote agent will have a agent card using in a JSON format. For example, the remote agent will be having a card. Hey, I am a search agent. For an example, I'm saying I'm a search agent. My name is search agent. My description is I used to search on web, or do a deep research on web like a perplexity. So this is what I do. If you want to use me, this is what a remote agent will be holding a agent card in a JSON format. So like that, there will be multiple remote agents. So now the client agent will be looking into multiple agents. Oh, this remote agent is used for search. This agent is used for code execution. I'm saying at the tool level, but you can assume in that way. So I need to pick the search agent for completing this task. Let me give this task to the search agent, agent number one. So this is what agent discovery phases. Next comes the task management. The communication between a client and a remote agent is oriented towards task completion, in which agents work to fulfill the end user request. This task object is defined by protocol and has life cycle. It can be completed immediately, or for a long running task, each agents can communicate and stay in sync with each other on the latest status of completing the task. On the latest status of completing the task. The output of the task is known as artifacts. I mean, this is a very, very, very important is what I feel. Because when I worked with a autogen, I was under Crew A, I was trying to make a article writing agent where the article should be first written, again a critic agent should review it, it should add some information, and the article writing agent should be refining it. So it will give me an output article. So it's like a communication, right? Multi-agent thing. So how will you exactly take the output from the multi-agent system? That's quite hard. I felt it hard, but it can be solvable because we can ask an LLM to create a file. There must be a file access system agent which would create a file and give access to that, so it could able to do things. So, but here we have output of the task is known as artifact. We have a clear-cut output area where every agent's output or seen and what all should be shown to the user will be in artifacts. What the user should access will be in artifacts. So artifacts are the very important area is what I feel. This task object is defined by the protocol and has a life cycle also. It can be completed immediately or a long running task. Basically, we have seen above, right? It is a daily recurring task or a long run deep research or something kind of task. So that task management, everything is taken care from the client agent side. Next, the collaboration. Agent can send each other messages to communicate context, replies, artifacts, or user instruction. So client agent and the remote agent can communicate context, replies, artifacts, user instruction using this A2A protocol. User experience negotiation. This is where the human in the loop comes into picture. How will the client agent will handle the human's input in between executing a task? This is possible, is what they are claiming. Each message includes parts, which a fully formed piece of content like a generated image. Each part has specified content type, allowing client and remote agent to negotiate and the correct format needed to explicitly include negotiation of user's UI capability. So basically, they are coming to say about user will be giving a high level task at the beginning, then the you and the client agent and the remote agent will be trying to complete the task. And in between, if a user human in the loop comes into the picture also, the client agent will restructure its task or the plan, and accordingly, it executes and gives the desired output for the client. This is what the user experience negotiation. Now we will see the demo of a Google Agent Space. Google Agent Space is nothing but Google has implemented this A2A for an example like they want to hire a software engineer can significantly using a simplified A2A collaboration within this unified interface, right? Like now they call it as agent space. They have an hiring manager over here where you you can task your agents to find a candidate on a matching job, location, listing, every skill set. So it's like a LinkedIn's filter to identify what role you want, what location you want, what companies you want, kind of thing. The agent then interacts with the specialized agents, that's a client agent or a remote agent, the source of potential candidates. The user receives these suggestions and they can direct their agents to schedule interviews, streamlining, and candidate resource. Candidates background check. Everything can be done over here. So that's what an overall view of demo what we have today. And if we see the next part, right, the future of agent interpretability, they are believing that this A2A will become a standardized for communicating between agents, which will helps to scale at to the enterprise and the production level by Google Cloud. Let's see how it is going. Slowly, people are starting adopting it. I think the community on A2A is slightly slow, but they will pick up very soon, is what I feel. Uh, the MCP part is released on November or December of 2024, and it got hype at March of 2025. I don't think A2A is like that. A2A just released and they become a so hype because it's from the Google marketing push, was what I feel. Then the feedbacks from the A2A partners, from Atlassian to BCG, to Datadog, MongoDB, KPMG. So there are multiple people are already started using it and trying to evaluate it. There is a open source GitHub repository from Google, A2A. So basically this is open source one. People can collaborate, people can see demo video over it. So everything is here. I still, actually, if you see a concept, right, each concept has two parts. One is what is it, and second is how does it work. If both the things combine, right, then the person becomes highly knowledgeable on the particular skill. So I have now explained this, what is A2A, what is it. But if you want to see how it works or how the A2A works, then please leave me a comment. Let me know if more, let me know, I can do a separate video on it. So I didn't now go into the GitHub repository. I have just seen the um, blog which they have written, and they have also a technical documentation. So if you see here, right, I was called for the last video. Okay. uh, A2A protocol, if you see here, a end user will be communicating with the client agent. The client agent will be giving the task to multiple remote agents. So if you see, this is the technical documentation where they have written about the transport, async, authentication and authorization, agent card. If we see here, right, agent card name should be a string, which should be a recipe agent, for example, and a description should also be a string agent that helps to write users with a recipe on, recipe and cookings. So there are URLs, providers, that's all the company who does it. So they want to scale it, right? So anybody can write an A2A. So next, the core objects. Core object has an interface like ID, session ID, status, status of the task, then history, the agent to agent communication, last history. What is the artifacts? Artifacts are the output, what we saw. What is the metadata over here? Everything was over seen here. Task type is submitted, working, input required, completed, cancelled, failed, unknown. So artifacts details are given here. Artifacts has name, description, paths, metadata. I think this will be overwhelming today now itself, because I didn't go into the technical part, but I'm explaining the technical documentation over here. So next comes the example of the sample JSON method for the JSON response agent card. So name is Google Maps agent, and the description is plan routes, remember places, and generate description. Generate direction. Sorry. So this is the description of the agent card. This can be a remote agent. And what is the URL? Mapsagent.google.com will be the URL of it. Who is the provider? Provider will be the Google. And what is the URL? URL is the google.com. What is the version? What is the authentication? So what is the skills, so route planning, custom map, my map, everything is given over here for each and every agent. So what is for how to send a task, how to get a task, how to cancel a task, how to send push notification to the user, how to get a push notification, multiple turn conversation. It should not be like one time conversation between agent. It can be a multiple thing. That's where the multi agent comes into the picture. How the streaming output, streaming support comes. What you see in chatgpt.com is a token streaming thing, but here they also support a token, video, audio. Every streaming is supported over here. Then how to resubscribe a task. I don't know what is it really. Non-textual media. That's what I mentioned about the audio and video part. How a structured output should be generated. Yeah, I have explored on the structure output, how the LLM exactly generates. Uh, One is first is prompt level, next is function calling level or JSON method. The third one is the constructive decoding method. I have explored on it. Maybe I will put a separate video on it also. Next comes the error handle. This is the overall picture on A2A. I have given a high level description and a differentiation between other frameworks, or what is the difference between MCP and um, A2A. This is a very high level. Maybe we should explore on it more. If you require a detailed video or how it works, how can we set up in Python, let me know. Uh, until then, thank you so much. See you soon in another video, maybe on NCP or structure output, something related to it. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much. Bye bye.